Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 65's live reaction. Oh, yeah. I am Dustin Starr, and this is Abby, or should I say the young goat, Abby. Pop that shirt. What are you doing? Got that new quarter zip. You guys will be able to get these really soon. ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com/store. You can actually buy this in any color right now. But what is going on today? What an episode and what a fight with Big Swole Justin Cole finally getting some retribution against the Posse. Kid Wrestling has his back, and then what the Posse did to Kid Wrestling, there's going to be some exclusive bonus footage is going to be posted here on the YouTube channel later tonight, and a lot of pictures on the social media at CW30 Wrestling. But how disgusting. The Posse just re-signed new agreements with Memphis Wrestling. They forced us to do it by holding the tag team titles hostage. They've destroyed the Wrestle Center. They put Aaron Roberts' eye out, and now they spike Kid Wrestling in the face after they make Big Swole Justin Cole's life a living hell. Absolutely disgusting. Blood all over the Wrestle Center. We apologize to any of the kids that were watching. I'm sorry that you had to see that, Abby.
I saw it in person too.
She did see it in person. It was even worse in person. Wrestling with the MMA says the Posse are menaces. That's absolutely right. And I'm beginning to think that they're more than just a menace to Memphis Wrestling. They're a menace to professional wrestling as a whole, and they're a menace to society as Lil Chris exit the ring a couple of times to tear up signs in the crowd. Kids' signs in the crowd, might I add. And then what they did to Big Swole Justin Cole with that chain, and then one would only assume that they attempted to put Kid Wrestling's eye out, so we'll have an update on that as the story develops. What's up, Steve G? How are you? Great show again today, and excited for next week, says Wrestling with the MMA. Well, next week, it's one-on-one. The Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, gets an opportunity at the Memphis Heritage Championship that's held by the man around here, the Gun Show Brett Michaels, one-on-one. That happens on Memphis Wrestling next week. We appreciate the support, Wrestling with MMA. Lamb says, and Big Swole told Kid Wrestling to stay away. Now, he did. Now, that's one thing. I hate to say I told you so, and I know Big Swole's not the type of guy to say that I told you so, but I think the whole thing was not disrespect on Big Swole's part when Kid Wrestling offered to be his partner. Big Swole, I think, knew what the Posse are capable of, and here we go right here, man. Just absolutely incredible. Shout out to Eden Kane, Maine. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. You guys, the super chat has been enabled, so if you see the little plus sign or the little dollar sign, and you want to throw a couple of bucks at Memphis Wrestling, we really appreciate it. If not, that's totally fine. You could be a part of the chat as well. But I do think that Big Swole did not mean any disrespect. He just knew what the Posse was capable of, and Kid Wrestling unfortunately saw it firsthand. I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that, where not only did the Posse attack Kid Wrestling, but just tearing away at his mask after trying to put his eye out with a spike. And there's going to be some more footage that we could not show on television. It's a little too graphic. Of course, we're on CBS, CW30, Tubetown Ritter Communications, Hub Television, and we're still expanding, so that's something that we have to be extremely careful about. But it's also something that we had no clue what was going to happen there, and the Posse have lost their freaking minds. All right. Hey, Lamb, what's up? That's from Wrestling with MMA. Ben, what's up? Hate what happened at the end. Someone should disarm the Posse of the spike. That's a good point. Why are the Posse even allowed to have the spikes at ringside? Wouldn't that be a foreign object? Absolutely. Steve G, it's definitely a weapon. Time to bring a tag team in to take care of the Posse. Well, stay tuned, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on around Memphis Wrestling, and there's no telling who might show up. We saw the LA Hustlers show up today in their debut match against Country Rock. Not sure what you guys thought about that, but Ray Sanders catching LA Hustlers. How many times have you ever seen that in wrestling? So Ray Sanders, shout out to him, being a really good official and catching that chain on, I think, Rough Shot is who had it. What's up, Dylan? How are you? I've got a couple of minutes here, and then I'm going to go enjoy a family day. at the Memphis Zoo. And speaking of the Memphis Zoo, we will be a part of Zoo Rendezvous this year. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Memphis Zoo, 37th annual, and they haven't had to do it in 2 years because of the pandemic. So this year is going to be bigger and better than ever. It's an 80s theme, so guess who's on the marquee for Zoo Rendezvous in Memphis Wrestling? Who's 80s more than anybody else? Don't say King Cobra. I'm talking about Uncle Mikey. Uncle Mikey with a mustache in the old school. So Uncle Mikey will be featured at the Memphis Zoo. Who?
I was going to say King Cobra.
King Cobra for sure. Yeah, he'll be there as well.
But I was thinking, and then you said it, so.
Kid Wrestling should have heeded Big Swole's warning. You're right. But again, a lot of times our hearts are bigger than our brains. And in this case, I think that was it. Once again, big shout out to Eden Kane, Maine. I hope I said that right.
Eden Kane.
Let's see. MMA says a little Chris ripping up people's signs. That was disgusting as well. Steve G says them boys are needed. Oh, them boys. I see what you say there. All right. You never know. Wrestling with MMA liked Country Rock versus LA Hustlers. I don't think that we've seen the last of those two tag teams wrestling against each other, especially after what happened today on the show. That reversal of the decision. Dylan's going to go watch Memphis Wrestling now. All right, go check it out. Also, there's a brand new Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield that hits tomorrow on this channel at noon. It is a premiere, and it features the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson defending the United Wrestling Network World Championship against Davey Richards. That is going to be an awesome match. Trent says another good show. Thank you. Lamb says, why, Matt? Why? No idea. Apparently, Matt is feeling some certain way about Austin Lane, and we're going to try to get a word, of course, from Meklikov, but especially Matt in the coming weeks. Didn't see it coming. Your best friend turns your back on him. I don't like Matt's situation at this point because I saw the look in Austin Lane's eyes, and the last time I saw that look was when he went one-on-one with Kay Toomer, and that was a fight to the finish for sure. Dave says, no filler, no in-ring talk shows. We get a little bit of talk at the desk, but all that stuff usually ends up in action. So, and that's Memphis Wrestling for you. Brody the Rockstar, Dustin, you are phenomenal. Thank you, Brody. I really appreciate it. I've got just a couple of more minutes here to answer your questions. If you're watching this live reaction at a later time, like later tonight or tomorrow or any time, and you have questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. We always do a good job about answering those questions and then also bantering back and forth with some of the comments on YouTube. It's a little bit fun. Anyway, June the 12th. All right, so let me start with May 29th. That's next Sunday, live at the Wrestle Center. 12:30 VIP, Buff Bagwell, Mads Kruger, and Zicky Dice, along with the stars of Memphis Wrestling, will all be there. The Internet Championship will be there. The Memphis Heritage Championship will be there. The Posse and the Memphis Wrestling Tag Team titles will be there as well. That's all going down next Sunday. Get your tickets at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. You can save $5 if you use the code word EARLY at checkout. And then, of course, AEW Double or Nothing's happening at Dave & Buster's immediately following that. We'll hook you up with a power card. We'll all go over to Dave & Buster's together and watch absolutely free. That's a $60 pay-per-view that you can watch absolutely free with us at Dave & Buster's in Memphis, and I believe Dave & Buster's all across the nation. So check with your local Dave & Buster's to see if they're having that, because they are unrolling it nationwide. And then also, it was just announced that on June the 12th, the Women's Gauntlet for Gold 2 will take place, and we will crown a brand new Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion. You can go to ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com, click that calendar, or go to our Eventbrite page, and it'll give you all the details. Rebel Kell, the 6-foot stunner, is returning to Memphis Wrestling. Little Bit's returning. Cassandra Golden. DDT will be there. Nyx will be making her Memphis Wrestling debut as well. And we're adding more and more to that. So there's no telling what's going to happen with the Gauntlet for the Gold Women's Championship. Oh, the first one was awesome. So the first one, if you go onto our YouTube channel and search just Gauntlet for Gold, you'll see that Maria sat in the ring and conducted an interview, and this aired prime time on CW30 here in Memphis, the highest viewed CW in the nation. And so it was a really big deal with all the women being featured and interviewed, and it was about a 4 or 5 minute segment that aired prime time, like I said, on CW30, and then also aired on our television program. So check that out. We did it up really good the first time, and I think that it's only fair that we do the same thing the second time. And also stay tuned because as this story develops, we're going to do some really cool stuff that I think you guys are really going to like. Let's see. Deanna Taylor finally got what she deserved. She sure did, man. Cassandra Golden has her number. Give Cassandra the belt. She deserves it. Yes, that was great. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everybody. I have to get off here. For Abby, I'm Dustin Starr, and we'll see you at bell time next Saturday. The Murder Hawk and the Gun Show one-on-one. Oh, yeah.